Hi and thanks for joining us today. On today's show, we try and make sense of the Merseyside derby. We look at a possible incoming transfer for Liverpool, and I get what I asked for Christmas. We also have your fantasy football recommendations and predictions for Tuesday and Wednesday's games, at what can only be described as a smorgasbord of festive football. So we invite you to sit back, relax and join us over the pool and far away. Right, so as you know, I was advertising for a new co-host as I felt like I needed a yin to my sometimes overly passionate yang. Thanks for the replies, but unfortunately I got stuck with Chris. Merry Christmas, mate. Welcome back to the show. I suppose the most pressing issue that everyone really wants to know now, or at least I do, is where are we going for the office Christmas party?
I think being the actual host and me just being the host, that's probably your call.
Oh, see now, you had a chance there to show initiative to your new boss and you failed miserably, so...
You've just told me that you were desperate, so you settled for me, so...
Oh, you know it's not true. I went back to the roots. I went back to where it all began.
Go on.
Okay, so I suppose we should start at the beginning. Seems like a good place to start. That would be kickoff, and this week's topic pretty much writes itself, really, doesn't it? It's what everyone else is going on about. Was Jurgen Klopp arrogant and misguided to not play the so-called Fab Four against Everton?
Do you want the long version or the short version?
Well,
I'll tell you what, I'll go first and we'll see where we'll go from there.
Go on then.
Okay, so for me, he was right to rotate the squad. He was right to leave certain people out. I will say one contentious thing straight away. I think West Brom on Wednesday night is a more difficult game than Everton was at the weekend, despite it being the derby. Carrying on from there, if you look at our last two seasons, the period of games running up to Christmas from game 20 to game 26, we have won 2 games out of 12 in 2 seasons. That is due to not rotating the squad, picking up injuries and being absolutely knackered from there on out. At this point in this season, we're 3 points behind where we were in 2014.
Yeah.
When we're closest to winning it than we have been for a long time. We're 6 points ahead of the season before.
Yeah.
And we're 4 points behind last season. You could say the 4 points behind last season, okay, we're not moving forward, but I don't buy that because of who we've played and who we've got left to play. And just a turnaround of the season, people are going to have been rested, where last season Klopp made the exact opposite mistake where he carried on playing the same team. We had Mane out, he didn't have a lot of options, so he kept churning out the same side, and we ended up with injuries through that towards the back end of the season. He's learnt from that. He's rotated the squad. I've had argument after argument with people all week.
That's not like you, Chris.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, look who's talking.
I know, yeah. One of the things that's been levelled at me this week was all of the, I'm going to say this very loosely, expert analysts have agreed that he shouldn't have rotated the squad. Well, they're experts only because they used to play the game.
Yeah. And
because they can actually see the game for what it is. We have a lot of players who are very, very quick, very fast players, and we play a very fast style from front to back when we play the game right and the way that we want to play it. That brings on a lot of soft muscle tissue injuries, which are brought on by excessive force over a long, prolonged period of time, not necessarily just bursts of pace. And that is what he's trying to avoid. I can see that. Yeah, whether other people are just choosing not to see that, they want something to moan about, there's always got to be something, I don't know. The thing is, me and you wouldn't be sat here having this conversation if we'd have seen the game out and won.
Well, yeah, I absolutely agree with everything you've said. I like they had 21% of possession, which is the lowest share of the ball that any Premier League team has had since Opta Stats began.
I
Right.
didn't actually know that.
We
I
made
do know.
6 changes, which I can see why people go, "Oh my god, 6 changes and all that." But as I say, lowest share of the ball. If Mane puts that ball in, it's 2-0. It's game over. And
do you blame him for not
yes,
passing? By the way,
yes, I do. Yeah, and the reason I do is because he put himself ahead of the team. If you look at what's been great about Liverpool the last couple of games, and what has made me like sit up and take notice and say that this is the best that I personally have seen us play in my lifetime, is it's how unselfish it was. It was how that front four, it didn't matter who was scoring the goals. And against Moscow, something really special happened where they were determined to get Salah a goal, and it happened.
I'm going to stop you there. Bobby Firmino, for me, is the only person out of the front four that would have passed that ball. Mane's to own goal. He's got one thing in his mind, which I admire, because the one thing I hate is people getting caught in two minds and doing neither. He's got one thing on his mind, he shoots. If that's Salah, he goes through, he shoots. If that's Coutinho, he goes through, he shoots. If it's Mane, he goes through, he shoots. If it's Bobby Firmino, because he's so clever and he's so much more switched on and he's not about himself, he passes.
I don't know. I've got
passed, but I think the other three shoot. And Mane shot. Yeah, he missed. In retrospect, he should have passed. But at that time, can you really call him shooting?
No, I
just
can.
Got 2 goals in the game before.
I can, yeah, and it's because you've got to look at, if he squares that ball, we score. He's got to look at the bigger picture. If he squares that ball, we score. Then it turns into a cricket score, because Everton
I agree with
have
that.
to come out. And then instead of just getting
He's
one
not
goal,
expecting
he ends
this.
up with 2, 3, 4, whatever it may be. He
Absolutely
has to put the game first. He has to put. I think personally, and it was actually my partner Jenna who said it as well, and I couldn't agree with him more. She said
First time for
almost
everything.
like, oh no, I always agree with her when it comes to footy. She's actually quite good on her footy, to be honest. But what she said was, when you look at that, it looked like a player who was trying to prove something. And while the rotation, I agree with it completely, and I agree that it's worked, mentally for Mane, that part of the rotation was, I'm in Salah's shadow here. I don't want to be in Salah's shadow. I want to get some glory for myself. And as soon as you do that, and as soon as you put yourself ahead of the team, he's not a striker, he's a winger. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, do you think Salah would have shot?
100%.
See, I don't.
I've seen him do it in situations where he should have passed the ball.
Yeah, I've seen him do it when we've been 1, 2, 3-0 up, when the game's pretty much over.
Nah, you're splitting hairs now. I've seen him do it at 0-0.
No, not for me. Anyway, right. He's got to pass that ball. But anyway, going back to what we were saying, there's obviously the fact that we should have won. There's 7 games in 21 days coming up. So anyone who moans about rotation, I would suggest you have a conversation with your nearest sports scientist, and they will explain to you exactly why any footballer will struggle to play 7 games in 21 days, not just a team that plays the kind of all-out running style that we do.
Absolutely.
And as you quite rightly pointed out, last season, this was exactly what undid us. Klopp is, to me, he's showing foresight and he's learning. And all these Liverpool fans, I'm sorry to say it, and I love the tradition of Liverpool and I love the derby, and it'll always be one of the 2 biggest games for me of the season, the other one being Manchester United. But we're fans. We have that luxury of saying that it's a bigger game than any other game. He's the manager of Liverpool Football Club, And people go, oh, you should put the derby first. No, you shouldn't. You should put the entire season first.
Yes.
You don't cut your nose off to spite your face. If injuries happen and then Coutinho gets injured or Firmino gets injured because they weren't 100% fit, because he's being told by a sports scientist that they're not at that level to play 90 minutes, and he puts them in anyway and he gets them injured, and then we start dropping points later on in the season because they're not there.
Like we have.
Who gets?
Like it tells you that's what happens.
Who gets the blame?
Yeah, exactly. See, one of the things that people level at Klopp is that he's very stubborn and he doesn't learn. Now, for me, this season he's made substitutions too late. He's been reactive and not proactive. We've talked about this on previous podcasts where actually I've tried to defend him, but looking back, you can't really. He has been reactive and not proactive, but recently he's been proactive as opposed to reactive. And then people are calling him for his substitutions against Everton and calling him for his rotation policy now, where all he's doing is looking at his last 2 seasons at this point and thinking, we need to change something here because we're not gaining as many points as we should be.
If the same people who called out Klopp weren't the same people who are now calling him out for doing exactly what they told him not to do last season,
exactly,
I'd have no problem. It's simply the fact that the Merseyside derby is such an emotive topic and it's such a traditional thing, and it's, oh, you've got to go 100%, you've got to go all out. Yes, you do. But if someone's not 100% fit and you've got 2 games in 3 days, you have to take that into consideration. And the question is, was that team good enough to beat Everton quite comfortably?
Well, look at the way they played.
Quite comfortably.
I'll tell you the problem I have with it. Not just the way they played. They battered them. It doesn't matter what side we put out, they would not have been better than the side that was on the pitch. We had 35 touches in the box before Coutinho came on the pitch. Now, if that's not enough to win the game, then it's just one of those days where it's not going to happen. That's all it is. The other problem I have with the Merseyside derby is Everton are garbage. At what point do we say, yeah, but it's the derby, everything else goes out the window? I mean, if they were in League One and we drew them in the FA Cup, would everything else go out the window?
Exactly.
I don't think it would.
Exactly. If this had been against West Ham...
West Brom's a bigger game.
If this had been against West Ham, no one would have batted an eyelid. They'd have just gone, we should have won the game. It's a bad refereeing decision. We should actually come to that, I suppose. Lovren, I heard that he gives the referee a decision to make. Well, every player who ever tackles anyone gives the referee a decision to make. It doesn't mean that the referee should be okay with making the wrong decision. That is the softest penalty, other than the one that we got given against us the week before. It's the softest penalty that you could ever see. And people are going, oh, but Lovren shouldn't put hands on him, and should he barely touched him.
I'm gonna agree with you and disagree. I'm gonna get splinters in my arse here, basically. It's a very, very soft penalty, but Lovren doesn't have to do what he did.
I agree with that.
Matip wouldn't have done it. I don't think Gomez would have done it even. I think just jockey your man. He's going away from goal.
Do you know what, though?
Don't put your arms out. I mean, it's a reactionary thing. I don't think he thought to himself, yeah, I'm going to grab, or whatever. But
I've seen that in every match. I've seen players like Chiellini do it. I've seen players like Nesta do it. I've seen Baresi do it. I've seen the best of the best do that, and nothing ever gets given against them. People just want to jump. People just want to jump on Lovren, and I'm not having it. Listen, Lovren's not good enough for Liverpool Football Club as far as I can see, and as far as I've said all season. And my opinion on that hasn't changed. But I'm not going to throw him under the bus for trying to do his job and for the referee just giving them a... In hindsight, yeah, he shouldn't put his hands anywhere near him. In hindsight, he should just let him run the ball wide. But then, what if he doesn't get share tight and Calvert-Lewin manages to turn and get a shot away and score? Then you're going to give him grief for that as well. So he's kind of damned if he's in the Klopp situation of being damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. And
he's in the Mane situation as well. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
If he scores,
but he didn't score. That's hindsight.
Yeah. No, if he scores, fair enough. No,
It's
there is that. No, but
hindsight.
that's something that will happen
You would back him to score
throughout the rest of time. That it makes that strikers being greedy or wingers attacking forwards, whatever you want to call them, being greedy in front of goal is something that's happened from the beginning of time. Do you know what I mean? There is always going to be that argument.
Greedy than weren't. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. Well, I'd rather have Mane than Henderson in front of goal. Put it that way.
Yeah, I'd rather have Ian Mush and Dirk Kuyt. One's going to pass. One's going to score your goals.
Listen, don't you dare bring Dirk Kuyt into an argument negatively. Was he the most gifted footballer we've ever had? Certainly not. Did he ever give less than 100%? Never. Did he score some of the most important goals? Did he score one of them?
Kuyt's a legend. James Milner gives you everything he's got. He's still not a world beater.
Yeah, but the difference is Kuyt was better at what he did. But anyway, listen, we're going off on a tangent. One thing I'm going to try and do more often in this podcast is not go off on the tangents. I'm gonna rein myself in. Yeah, just a few last words I think on this. People, I understand, as I say, it's an emotive topic, the derby, and I understand that there's this. It is the biggest game. It means a lot to us, and you know, it means a lot to me, no exception. But it's still only worth 3 points, and in this case, a point. And if you gave me a choice to draw both the derbies, and that meant that we'd have a better chance of picking up maximum points in the next 4 or 5 games after them or around them, then I'm sorry. As much as I love beating Everton, and as much as that's one of my favourite things, I'm more about what Liverpool can achieve over the course of a season. If we went out and won a league title and lost to Everton both times, no one would say a word.
They would. They'd never fucking shut up about it.
Yeah, they would, but you know, listen, that would be their trophy, and we'd have the actual trophy. Do you know what I mean? I would, if you gave me that option now, I'd sign up for that. And
absolutely.
And if you wouldn't, and I know there's a lot of people who wouldn't, and I understand where they're coming from. And
no, is there?
No, oh yeah. Oh, believe me, yeah.
If they did the double over us, but we won the league.
To be honest, I won't go into how bad they were, because I don't really want to give them the satisfaction of acknowledging their existence at Anfield. But they were an absolute disgrace. They always are. And some of the things that they said. I met a couple of lads on the train back. There was Charlie and Isaac, and I'm sure they'll be happy to hear their names in the show, hopefully. And then there are a fella whose name doesn't matter because he's a blue. They're
the new generation, yeah.
But
everything gets better.
They sat in the away end. And well, the reason that I found this out was because we were talking about football, and I said to them, I think Charlie must have been like in his 20s, and Isaac, I don't know how old Isaac was, but he was a kid, you know what I mean? He was a good lad as well. But they both had half and half scarves.
Fuck off.
Yeah, hang on, wait. See, now you know what I'm like with half and half scarves, and everyone who knows me or listens to this knows what I'm like with half and half scarves. But they actually gave me the only reason that you should ever buy a half and half scarf.
The old man.
No, they tried to say that a little bit. I think they were trying to be respectful to their half fella, and fair play to that. But it doesn't matter. My brothers are blue. I wouldn't buy something blue just to placate him, let's say. But no, they actually gave the only reason. They said, first of all, they sat in the away end, which is not something I would ever do with a gang of Evertonians.
To get away with wearing that.
So respect to them for that. And second of all, they said it was the only way that they could wear anything at Liverpool.
Yeah, no, I get that.
That, to me, is the only excuse I have ever heard for a half and half scarf.
That's legitimate.
Yeah. And it's the only one I'm willing to accept. So
no, I'll give you another one.
Go ahead.
European games and finals.
Yeah, no, but that's all right. I should say a domestic half and half scarf.
Yes.
I have an half and half scarf. I have AC Milan against Liverpool. I bought it in 2005 when I went to the European Cup final. It's one of my most prized possessions.
All right, let's get that in there.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm gonna dine out on that for the rest of my life. I went to the greatest European Cup final ever. How many people can say that?
Do you know what I did that day?
Go on.
I went to work.
Oh.
Yes, thank you.
Do you know what? No.
Do you bleed from it?
No. I've got sympathy, but thinking back,
Well, not that much.
I was in the middle of a square, watching thousands of Scousers kicking one football up in the air and waiting for it to hit someone on the head, then just go
Hey!
while drinking
You never
copious
got a
amounts
kick
of alcohol, and we managed to get. I can't think what they're called, but you know the fellas who stand outside hotels and basically say you can't come in.
Yeah.
Not like sort of like
Concierge.
hotel bouncers, if you like, not security. If you like.
Concierge.
They're the ones. Couldn't think of the name. Managed to make friends with one of them, so that due to the copious amounts of alcohol that we were drinking, we had somewhere where we could go and use the toilet. So
Excellent.
we were going into like pure posh hotels to use the box. No one else was allowed in. So that was
Excellent.
anyway. Well, I could tell you a lot about that trip, but suffice to say, it was
Spencer Diverse.
it was the greatest of my life. So anyway, getting back to what we were saying, as I say, just to switch topics, just to end this topic, I want to bring the attention of something, and it is like me saying, if you could say 2 losses to Everton and win the title, it's the thing. But Guardiola's the flavour of the month, and rightly so. He can do no wrong.
Okay.
Guardiola drew to Everton. That's the only blemish on Guardiola's CV so far this season.
He drew to Everton.
He drew to Everton, and he rotates his team constantly. He's been rotating his team all season.
I have had this argument literally today. Somebody said that Klopp's rotating too much, and I quote, "I can't remember the last time that City didn't play De Bruyne or Silva."
I can.
So I had to dig back, because I do. Like, I had to look back, because I like to be clued up before I argue back on the topics that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And Silva has been on the bench for 3 of the last 6 games.
Yep.
Both of them have been rested for 2 of the last 7. There you go.
There you go. Exactly. And you know why? It's because
Because
Klopp,
you have to.
No, it's because Klopp and Guardiola understand the future of the Premier League. They understand the physical demands.
Uh-huh.
They understand it's a squad game,
It's not
and they
just
are
the
way
Premier
ahead
League,
of the
It's the
curve.
future. It's the future of the game.
They're ahead of the curve.
They are.
The reason they are such great managers is because they don't just do what everyone has already done. They innovate.
They also, and this goes against them sometimes, especially with people like my dad, who will be listening. They also don't give a shit what people think.
And you know what? If they're in a situation like that, why should they?
Sometimes with some people, my dad goes, "Well, he's arrogant. He doesn't care what people say." Well, he's corrected himself on a few things that he made mistakes on last season, like playing the same team at this point of the calendar year where you have to rest people, and he's corrected himself on bringing subs on too late and being reactive, and now he's being proactive, and actually he's doing the right thing. But I still get the arrogant angle from people like Duncan Stridgen, my dad.
Big dunk.
Shout out.
No, but it again, and this is nothing against Duncan, quite the opposite. It's people like that who, especially in your case, taught you the game and taught you
Absolutely.
the traditions of the game. But the fact of the matter is that while some of the traditions still hold true, some of them have had to make way for sports science. And if you stand around admiring the past, you'll never build a future for yourself. You can admire the past and you can build on it. You can be inspired by it, but you can't be overawed by it, and that seems to have been the problem at Liverpool for the best part of like 20 odd years.
Absolutely. I'll tell you another problem with this rotation thing. Sorry to cut in.
No, not at all.
But one of the other things that's been levelled at me is they're on 100 grand a week, 200 grand a week, 300 grand a week. That doesn't make them robots.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean... I mean, if you had a marathon runner, you wouldn't say one on Monday, one on Wednesday, one on Saturday, and expect the same time on Saturday as they ran on Monday.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that because you have to rest people. You can play them. I'm not saying they're not fit to play. They are fit to play, but they are not as fit as they were on Monday.
Of course,
and they will not give you the same performance that they gave you in the first game of those 3 games as they were in the final game, and then they'll get slated for it. And it's not their fault. It's because they're being overworked, and Klopp is not overworking them.
No, I think you've just summed it up very nicely. I've got nothing else to add. I think we've covered all bases on that, unless there's anything you'd like to add.
No, let's move on.
No, okay, well...
in too much trouble off the old man.
So we're on to Cash or Stash. Thomas Lemar, for you, Cash or Stash?
Go on, you're going to have to remind me on this one. Is Cash buy?
Cash is buy, Stash is keep your cash.
Stash.
Ah, interesting.
You weren't expecting that?
I wasn't expecting that from you at all.
Right,
Go on,
I'm going to give
why?
you some reasons. Before you move on, I'm going to give you some reasons.
Go on.
Right, the first one is 90 million. Now, I know that doesn't mean a lot these days. 86, 90 million, that's what they're bouncing around at the moment. For a 22-year-old who is proven, that is brilliant business. Brilliant business. But for a side who already has players in that position, not just players in them positions, but players that you can bring in to replace them players in them positions, that money could be spent better elsewhere, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But unless the only reason this is a good move, which also makes it a bad move, is he Salah's replacement?
What?
Seriously, it's been sounded out, and apparently Real Madrid are going to come in with a big move this summer. So I think if we move for Thomas Lemar now, in January, Salah is going to think that's a door opened for him.
No chance. I'm not having that at all. He's got 5 years on his contract. He's got no... what's it called? He's got no minimum fee.
Yep.
You're telling me we're going to get rid of a player after 6 months?
I would hope not.
It's never going to happen.
Oh, no, he's not going to go in January.
Well, even this season?
Yeah, in the summer.
No chance.
No, I don't think he is.
If he does,
But I think if we sign Thomas Lemar, I think that's a replacement for Salah.
I don't
think it's an addition to the team because we don't need him.
Couldn't disagree more.
Elsewhere, and I can give you names on where it's better spent elsewhere.
I agree with that, but I couldn't disagree. Yeah, I'll come in now. Right. What does Thomas Lemar do well? Excellent close control. Strong enough to hold players off at his back. He's excellent on the half turn. He's a natural footballer. He's capable of playing anywhere across the attack and midfield positions, but he is heavily left-footed. Doesn't mean he doesn't use his right foot. He can pass with his right foot now, but most of the good things he does with his left.
Does anyone else in our squad do that?
Well, yeah, there's quite a few.
No, there's one.
No, but hang on.
He was heavily left-footed.
Hang on.
Brilliant across the back.
I know what you're getting at, but let me finish. So he's the kind of player you could see fitting into any attacking side in the world. I'm a big fan, and I do believe there's a lot more to come from him. Now, is he like Salah? No, not even slightly. He's nothing like him at all. He's left-footed, that's about it. Is the weight on his passes... The things that stand out to me are the weight on his passes, his vision, and his contribution to assists.
So you're replacing Coutinho with him?
I think he's the replacement for Coutinho.
Yeah,
now, listen, hang on. He's obviously not Coutinho. He's not going to get you those incredible free kick goals for a start. Though, in his favour is he's a much better corner taker if you actually watch him. Always beats the first man. Always gets
Chamberlain's a better corner taker.
No, I'm just giving the positivities. Listen, whoever I bring up to replace Coutinho, you're gonna have a go. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not. I'd get rid of him.
You've changed your tune.
I have, yeah.
Oh well, hang on. Let me finish anyway. So, as I say, he's obviously not Coutinho. He's not going to keep the ball the way Coutinho does. And if we got him, he'd be the kind of player who would make me think we'd need a defensive midfielder even more, because his game's more risk orientated than Coutinho. What he is basically, he's a good replacement, and that's the best you can hope for if you're looking to replace a world class talent on the cusp of being a world class player, which is what Coutinho is. The move to Barca will push Coutinho over the edge. It will make him a fully fledged world class player. He's suited so much more to that league. He'll have better players around him. He will suit that setup absolutely perfectly, and he will just take to it like a duck to water. So anyone what's that?
So would I?
Yeah, no. So exactly. So if you've got a player with his ability going into that setup with Messi and Suarez and Dingy, yeah, most players would. But Coutinho, you tell me a better attacker midfielder for Barcelona right now than Coutinho?
No, it's him. But give us 200 million, you can have him.
And that's where the sticking point is. Give us what you paid. Give us what Paris Saint-Germain paid you for Neymar.
Exactly.
And then go and get Neymar back, because apparently he's not happy. So, and then just
is that right? I've not heard that.
Yeah, I've heard he's absolutely miserable in Paris, but that's another thing altogether. Would I cash or stash? I am going to say stash, and here's the reason why.
The money's better spent elsewhere.
Yeah. Lemar is not anything in this team that we don't have. He's not a specialist like Coutinho. He's best employed on the left side. He does come in and do some damage in the centre.
He's better than Mane, he's better than Salah.
Yeah, no, not a chance. And I think that he's got that flexibility that Klopp looks for, but overall, he's a step backwards. And there's a couple of names I'd throw out. If you're going to go young and you're going to go for a player who's going to look like he belongs in that front four,
I've got some scratched there, so I'm hoping that you name them.
Well, given that Keita comes in, Keita is actually part of the replacement for Coutinho. And people go, oh, no, he's not.
No, he is.
He moves the ball from defence to attack as well as anyone.
He does what Oxlade-Chamberlain did against Everton, but 10 times better.
Yes. Couldn't agree more. And by the way, Oxlade-Chamberlain had a really good game against Everton. And anyone who says otherwise, just I have nothing to say about it.
It was brilliant. His transition was fantastic.
Yeah, and he played on the half turn. And he was always looking to go forward. And he put Milner and Henderson to shame. Given that one, that's not supposed to be his position, which it clearly is, and two, that he's been there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
the captain. If you'd have shown someone that game and not told them how old everyone was, and not told them who was captain and who was vice captain, there's no way you would have picked Milner and Henderson ahead of Oxlade-Chamberlain.
No,
he was excellent.
He was superb, yeah. Even when he overhit a couple of crosses, he didn't put his head down. He kept it up, and then he whipped in a couple of beauties. I don't know. I thought he was the best man in our midfield all day long.
I completely agree. And back to the topic.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. You're supposed to be here to take me, keep me on topic. You're worse than me this week. Right. Thomas Lemar. He's a very good player. Is he perfect for our system? No. If anything, I would expect him to rock up more at City. I think he's more attuned to what they do. I
reckon he'll go Chelsea.
Oh, no, I'm not saying where I think he'd go, but I think that kind of player, he plays well on the half turn, he plays well in spaces, He's fast, but not lightning quick. I think he could quite easily. He's a lot like the player that City actually brought in Bernardo Silva. He's very similar. Another player who Monaco obviously sold. And don't get me wrong,
player that was just not been given the game time.
Yeah, I'm a big
Bernardo Silva. I thought it was a great signing for City. And when you look at their side, Sané's better than Lemar.
Yeah, I'd say
Sterling's better than Lemar.
But you know who I'd take though, who's got the potential to be better than Sterling, better than Lemar, better than Sané. Better than all of them, because he's got something that all of them would love to have.
I'm just wondering what's on my list. Go on.
Christian Pulisic.
Yes, 19 years old.
In a half, yeah, he must be older than that by now.
He's 19, kid.
Unbelievable.
I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Do you know what really impresses me about Pulisic? He's got this searing pace.
Loads of money for him.
He's got this searing pace, but he's got so much more to his game. He is two-footed. He is a player who works well in space. He is a player who can pick out a pass. He is a player with that drive to get forward. He has that battle in him. When he was called out, when the American national team were looking like they were going to miss out on the World Cup, which they eventually did, the one man who stood up more than anyone else for me was Christian Pulisic.
Really? Yeah, absolutely.
When he comes on, he affects games. He's just a special player. And if we're going to spend that kind of money, I want it to be on something that where you see him and you just go, yeah, he fits what we're about. And Christian Pulisic fits what Liverpool are about. There is nowhere in the world that he would be better to go to. And there's no one better in the world that we would be better to sign.
Absolutely. And Klopp would bring him on so much. You see, he's just the perfect coach for him. I'm going to give a shout out to a lad on our page, Ryan Neal, who absolutely wants Pulisic and has wanted him for a long time, as long as you can want a 19-year-old for. he wasn't underage when he was caught in him or anything like that. The lad's brilliant. He is, like you say, he's right, he's left. He can play in behind as well, which at 19-year-old you can see him already picking pockets if you watch Dortmund play. I'm hoping this segues onto something that I want to talk about. That's up to you.
Go on. No, it's as much as it is, man.
Dortmund and Peter Bosz going.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to cast your mind back, I believe I said that it was a ridiculous decision to get rid of Thomas Tuchel. That is a young team.
I thought he would go to Arsenal. Tuchel, I rated him that highly. I thought he'd go to Arsenal.
I would not have been surprised to see him rock up there. And I'll tell you what, these people who want Klopp out, go and take a look. Go and take a look at Dortmund since he left.
Yep. But look at some of the players now that you would. Oh my God, I'm mouth-watering me now thinking, Klopp, come on. There's been a few managers since you've gone, lad. Get in there.
Yeah.
I've got you where.
Yeah, I don't think they've got the best relationship from what I've heard.
But surely we should be back in for Dayoud
now. Maybe.
You're not convinced now?
No, well, I do like him. And I thought he was going to go to City, and then he ended up going from, well, my team in Germany are Borussia Mönchengladbach, so I can tell you everything you want to know about those. But I can't see them letting him go after less than a season. No, not for me.
I don't mean in January, I mean in the summer.
Even then, it will all depend on if they get Champions League football. If Gladbach do us a favour and nick that fourth spot, then who knows, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So, can we move on to that, the Bosz and Dortmund thing?
Yeah, if you want it.
Right. Well, I'm gonna throw out a few names now. A few that are obvious and a few that might not be. Aubameyang.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to go for... If Sturridge is going to go, which he might be going abroad, if you're going to look for somebody else with pace to add to what we've got, Aubameyang is the perfect.
If the price is right...
He's not going to be... He's going to leave in the summer.
Listen, there's a lot that Aubameyang doesn't have to his game, but the one thing he does have to his game is something that no one else in our team has to their game, and that is the ability to score goals from anywhere.
Absolutely. Obviously,
Salah is, to be fair, bringing that to the table now.
He is now, but that's new to his game. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking him, but I'd rather have... You don't want Salah as your number 9, and he's becoming our number 9.
Yeah, no, completely agree with that. Salah's the kind of player who you want, who his goals are a welcome addition. Not
exactly. He's our top scorer now. He should not be our top scorer.
No, he certainly shouldn't. And Aubameyang, there's a reason that he won the Golden Boot last season. And by the way, he wasn't settled last season. He still won the Golden Boot.
Exactly.
So, I mean, talent-wise, is he the perfect fit? Personally, I don't think he's got enough of a poacher's instinct. I think he's very like for like when it comes to Salah, believe it or not. He's the kind of player who's got that pace, who will hit the ball from distance, who will score the more spectacular goals. He can score poacher's goals, but it's not really his thing. And I've said for a long time, the one thing Liverpool really lack is a proper out-and-out number 9 who... The chances that we create, and this is nothing against Firmino, because Firmino should now just drop back where Coutinho is and might even be the answer to the Coutinho riddle. But we need someone who's that Robbie Fowler, that Michael Owen, that Fernando Torres, that poacher, do you know what I mean? That one who's going to get in there where it matters, who's going to get...
That man's Aubameyang.
I don't know.
Who else?
I've seen him do that, and maybe he can do that. But I'll tell you this though: if I'm lining up as a defender and I see Sadio Mane, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Mo Salah running at me,
you're right. He's perfect, isn't it?
From that point of view, it is.
Not only that, you've just said that Aubameyang is exactly like Salah. For me, Salah is exactly like Mane, but on the other side. Yeah. So you've got 3 interchangeable players.
I don't think Aubameyang is...
Even more frightening than we've got now.
Yeah, Aubameyang's not going to play
behind them instead of Coutinho. Thank you. Yeah. I'm done. I'm happy with that.
What I will say is this.
35 touches in Everton's box before Coutinho came on the pitch.
Well, what I will say is this. Coutinho is the type of player that Klopp's never had before. I was looking through and thinking about it, and he's never really had that number 10. And the closest that he got to a player like him was Kagawa. And Kagawa's more like a Frank Lampard, if you like, someone who'll sniff around the edge of the box looking to score goals himself, rather than...
a fat twat.
Come on, let's have a bit of respect. He wasn't that bad, Lampard.
He was a decent player.
And I'll tell you what, mate. He's one of the more underrated players I've ever seen. And I'll tell you this about Frank Lampard. Towards the end,
he's Roy Keane in our circles, and Roy Keane's an absolute legend.
Yeah, but you look at Frank Lampard towards the end of his career. Just when I'd say that's when he hit his peak. The last couple of years when Chelsea won the European Cup and that.
When he sat a bit further back?
He added so much to his game, and I respect him for that. Now, was he Steven Gerrard? No, but
I can understand that, but
I think he deserves a bit more respect. And as far as I know, he never really called out Liverpool as bad as, some people did. And I think he's always come in for a little bit more stick than he deserves. I mean, big fat Frankie and all that.
Conversation about Lampard, but for me, he based a career on late ones.
Why not, though? If it works, why not?
Oh, no, it worked for him. Don't get me wrong. He was brilliant.
I think he did. And I think it's no coincidence that when Mourinho left, he became a more all-round player. Because Mourinho doesn't want you to be an all-round footballer. He wants you to be...
He wants you to do what he wants.
To fit his hole. That's it. And then... Oh, that sounds a bit wrong, but...
Right, okay. Anyway, on Dortmund. I'm going to give you some names now that you're probably going to throw back at me.
Oh, just let me say quick.
And I'm glad I'm talking to you about it because you're good on German football.
Let me say quick, though, what I was saying there about Kagawa. Klopp's never
So-
had that number 10. He's never had that Coutinho. He's never had that natural, not look to score first, number 10. He's not used to it. And to be honest with you, I think the only reason that Coutinho got in the team is because he was Coutinho. I think if it had been another number 10 of a similar ilk who didn't have the same quality, I don't think Klopp would have found a place for him. And I think now we're gonna move away from that.
Why would you find a place?
No, but I think we're gonna move away from that. And all this, Max Meyer, I can't see us being linked with him seriously. I don't think he's a Klopp type player.
No chance.
I will throw one name in, just before you start on your Dortmund, and that's Draxler.
I'm going to hammer Dortmund, by the way. So
Julian Draxler.
Yes, I like him.
I love him.
I like him, but I still think he's similar to what we've already got.
No, I disagree. I think if he was to, all right, if he is similar to what we've got, the closest player I'd say he is to is Coutinho, is Firmino.
Really?
Yeah, I really would.
Okay.
Don't think he's anything like Salah. Don't think he's anything like Mane. Don't think he's a Coutinho. A closest, and it's still not like a massively close comparison, but he reminds me a little bit of your Dennis Bergkamp type player. He really does. If you watch him at his best, he comes. I would have Draxler just off the striker.
He's not good enough.
I disagree.
I'd have him out wide. I'd never have him just off the striker. I don't think he's good enough. I really don't.
Don't like him out
I think
wide.
he's more an Arsenal player out wide than he is a Liverpool player behind the striker.
Don't like him out wide. I think he's more of an Italian type number 10.
I love it. We both see it different.
Yeah. Well, time will tell when we see where he goes and all that. But his skill set for me is close control. He can score goals. He's
close control, but then he's got acceleration from that. You don't need that behind the striker. Peter Beardsley never had that.
Yeah, but just because you don't need it, it doesn't mean you don't take it.
No, yeah, but you play him in a different position. Why waste him there?
No, that's for me. He's a number. No, just because someone's got pace, you don't play them out wide. I don't agree with that at all. And
I don't think he's got the vision to play where you want to play.
See, I do. But anyway, we'll carry this on at a later date as Julian Draxler's career developments ensue.
When it disappears, you can apologise.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you now. If it all comes right for Julian Draxler and he gets the right manager, he'll be a world class footballer. And Paris Saint-Germain are just an embarrassment of riches, and they don't realise what they've got. So.
Of course, yeah.
Right.
Anyway, let me get on with this Dortmund thing, if you don't mind.
Go on, quick. I want a yes or no.
I will be quick on it. Right, Subotic.
No.
Has been out on loan at FC Cologne for the back end of last season.
Who are getting absolutely smashed game after game.
But is he better than what we've got in reserve?
I would have to see more of him in the Premier League and all. It's not something I'd be looking to do.
Not something you'd look at.
No.
Okay, right. For me, Barter's too expensive.
I like Barter a lot.
I like him a lot, but I think he'll be too expensive. And I think Dortmund are going to be a team that you can look at now to buy from. How much do you know about Zagadou?
Not a huge amount, to be honest.
Centre half, can play left back.
He's the French kid, isn't he?
Time this season, 6'5".
Yeah, I've heard we're linked with him, and I've heard that he's.
I haven't heard that.
Well, it's probably paper talk.
But
what I have heard is that he's a special talent.
I think. Yeah, I believe that he could be the next big thing in centre halves.
I've not seen anywhere near enough of him to comment.
Okay, at 18 years old, I'd buy him now.
I'll take your word for it. Can't comment at all. I've got no frame of reference. About who?
John.
Good.
Is that the same?
Yeah. He's a good.
I don't know a lot about him.
He's a good, solid player who's got a nice little bit of versatility about him, but he's not.
Okay, so for me, if we're going to dip in there, it's Daoud, because that would possibly fix our backline problem anyway.
Yeah, him, Aubameyang and Pulisic are the three that we should be looking at.
Who's that?
Daoud, Aubameyang and Pulisic are the three that we have to be looking at.
Not a centre half.
Not from them, no.
Who would you bring in at centre half?
Virgil van Dijk.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm sorry, Klopp has made it perfectly clear who he wants. I have seen nothing from Virgil van Dijk that makes me think he's anything but the right answer to this question.
No, I totally agree with you. So we'll move on. I'm just trying to think outside the box.
No, I don't. Sometimes you can be too clever. I tell you what, I will say this though.
Trying to be too clever.
No, I'll tell you what I will say is we need more than one centre back, and Jimenez from Atletico Madrid has 6 months left on his contract and would be absolutely perfect.
Great shout.
So, yeah,
that's where I was coming from with Subotic. If you had Subotic or Klavan on your bench, or someone get injured, which one would you play?
Well, from what I've seen, Subotic.
Exactly.
But I'd have Socrates.
29 years old and he'd be cheap as chips.
I'd have Socrates over both of them.
Yeah, of course you would.
So, we could go on and on. Anyway, right to Premier League fixtures, because that's what we're here for, isn't it? Let's face it. Burnley against Stoke.
2-0 Burnley. I think Stoke are down and out. Hughes is lucky he's still got a job.
I will go 3-1 Burnley. I have not backed against Burnley at home this season. I'm not going to start now.
No, they're brilliant at home.
Crystal Palace against Watford.
Your fanboys will win 2-0.
Okay. I think it might be a bit more tricky than that. I'll say 2-1 Watford. Huddersfield against Chelsea.
I think Huddersfield will give a good go at it, but Chelsea are going to be hurting after the weekend. Chelsea 3-1.
I go 2-0 Chelsea, and I agree. Huddersfield will give it everything they've got, but there's a reason that teams like Chelsea stay up at the top, and that's because they don't lose 2 games back to back.
Yep.
If they do, going into the Christmas period, well, at the start of the Christmas period, that could be a cause for concern for them. And another point, just to go back to what we were saying as well. Who didn't rotate their team? I believe Chelsea didn't rotate their team.
Chelsea didn't rotate their team, and they lost.
And they lost to West Ham.
Correct.
So
because they were tired.
But surely because they played their best players, they should just win the game. That's how it works, isn't it?
Wait, apparently so.
There's one to ponder. Tomorrow we've got Newcastle and Everton.
I'm going to go one apiece there just because Rafa's going to want it so much.
I'm going to go 0-0 because when I think of these two teams, I think of defence.
Defence. American friends too much.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not even apologising for it anymore. It is what it is. Every now and then it's defence, and every now and then it's defence.
Every now and again I go a little bit scouse, so yeah. I can forgive you for that.
I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. Southampton against Leicester.
I'm going to go Leicester 2-1. I'm a little bit worried about Southampton this season. I think they could slip, you know.
I'm going to go Southampton 2-1. And I'm not worried in the slightest.
Really?
No. Swansea against Man City.
City 3-0. I think they've had a few games recently where they've just about edged through late on, last 5 minutes, injury time and all that, but I think they have to pull the finger out now and prove they are actually the real deal.
Swansea don't get enough goals. City get goals by the hat load. I'm going to say this is the one where they come back and smash someone. I'm going to go 5-1 City.
Okay.
Liverpool against West Brom.
Right, this is the one where I'm going to go for someone to smash someone. I think Sadio Mane is one of those players that reads the press. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But I think it's going to make him come back extremely determined.
Hopefully he passes the ball.
I think.
I'm only joking. I'm not calling him out.
It'll make him more determined to shoot.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Liverpool 5-0.
I'm going to give them a little bit more credit. I'm going to go Liverpool 3-0. but I think it should be comfortable.
Mhm.
Thanks to rotation. Man United against Bournemouth.
1-0 United, just because it'll be completely boring, but Bournemouth will be tactically better, but lose out late on.
No, I think United are going to stuff them because they're going to be hurting from the derby. They're going to want to play football and
Really?
put that to
Does he
bed.
ever want to play football?
No, they are. They're gonna want to play football in
Has
this one.
Mourinho ever wanted to play football?
I'm telling you now. You watch this game. They're gonna want to come out. Those players are gonna want to come out and score goals, and they're good enough to do it as well.
If Mourinho was a tennis player, he would be one of them that just defended everything and knocked it back for you and waited for you to knock it out.
And what's your knowledge like of tennis? Who would that player be?
I have no idea.
So what? That player's actually it's Djokovic.
Is it really?
Yeah, he just keeps going and going and going. He's a machine.
Well, yeah, I'd rather be a Pete Sampras.
Mm. We'll leave that there. No, I'll say Man United 3-0. I'll give them the same score as us. Yeah, do you know what? I'll go 4-0 for them. Because it seems to be, because 4-0 is like their most popular scoreline.
I'll have you a private bet on that.
Okay. What's the stakes?
Whatever you want.
Oh, Chris, you say the sweetest things.
I tell you what, for the next one, you're the co-host.
Deal. So you've go on. I've got Man United. You've got Bournemouth.
No, I'm not doing that.
No, come on. I'll be. What you can't lose.
That you put in.
Nah. Bottled it in the bet. Have I sworn in this podcast yet? I don't think I have.
Twice.
Oh, bad man. I think I've cleaned it up a little bit.
I didn't realise we were on the BBC.
I know, yeah. Well, we actually got a complaint in from someone that we swear too much, but fuck that. Yeah. It's passion in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't swear unnecessarily. I don't say it every other word and all that. So if you have
I do sometimes.
If you have a problem with it, listen to the BBC. Go and listen to Robbie Savage if you want your football insight to be clean.
Yeah. If you want us to talk about Robbie Savage, it's not going to be clean.
He's not as bad as he used to be. I'll give him some credit. Tottenham against Brighton.
2 apiece.
Ooh, I like it.
I've got a couple of shocks actually. 2 apiece. I don't think Spurs will fancy it as much as Brighton will. Do it. It's difficult to say they were a better attacking side, but in the final third, I think they are. I think if Dele Alli's on form, Brighton will struggle. If he's not, Brighton will draw, possibly even win.
Well, I never. I'm going to take Tottenham. I'll say 3-1 Tottenham. West Ham against Arsenal.
My shock of the weekend.
Ooh.
And one that I'm going to put money on as well.
Well, it's not shock of the weekend, it's Wednesday.
Well, week then. West Ham 1, Arsenal 0.
Do you know what? I watched Arsenal against Southampton, and if Southampton had had more about them, they could have turned Arsenal over.
Absolutely.
And I watched West Ham against Chelsea, and I think West Ham got lucky that Chelsea had played midweek and didn't rotate.
But if they had been playing Arsenal, they would have won that game as well.
Possibly. I think West Ham have found their feet a little bit, but I still think Arsenal are a much better side.
David Moyes' record against Arsenal. Do you know it?
I don't know it. Is it good?
No, it's shocking. I actually picked the score first, and then I looked at the record, and he's won 3 out of 27.
I'll say it might be a little bit trickier than, but I still say Arsenal 3-1. I don't see many upsets this time. I do.
This time of year.
No. Yeah. I mean this particular week. I'd say it's going to be more Saturday and Sunday when you see the upsets.
I think West Ham are going to win and think that they've got the saviour, and then they're going to go down.
No, I think West Ham got lucky. They played Chelsea at the right time. Back-to-back home games. They will be on a high. They will make it difficult for Arsenal, but I think Arsenal have got too much. I would love to be proven wrong. I'd be delighted.
But Conte's a great manager. How could he possibly have got that wrong?
Well, do you know he's got the best points per game of any Premier League manager ever? He's got
a really good squad.
Even better than Guardiola.
Who didn't have European football in his first season in charge?
True. I didn't say it. There weren't reasons why. I just said that. Whoa there, Chris. I wasn't calling him out.
I think people throw these stats out there without actually thinking about the facts behind them.
Well, you know how I feel about that after last week's podcast.
Uh-huh.
Well, not last week's, the week before. Apologies as well. I had to go into hospital, which is why there was no podcast last week.
No excuse, to be honest.
I know, yeah.
I'm joking.
No, I should have. I could have done it, but I was in quite severe pain, and it probably would have just been me just going every 5 seconds. So I took the executive decision. I
apologise about that as well, because he disagreed with me, so I kicked him really hard.
Yeah, in the shin.
I couldn't reach any higher.
Right, fantasy player. Who's your boy? Shaboy.
I kind of touched on it before. I think he's going to be angry, and I think he reads the press. So I'm going to go Sadio Mane.
Oh, Mane. I like it.
I'm going to sing.
I like it. I'm going to say... I would have said last week as well. I'm going to say Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And the reason why is because Crystal Palace are desperate for points. So they can't sit back and they can't just defend. Nobody shoots more in that team than Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's cheap, he's cheerful. If you need someone like that, if you want to talk about a big player, I'm going to throw it out there and everyone's going to laugh. And I'm either going to look like a genius or a fool, but I'm going to say Romelu Lukaku.
What?
Yep, I'm going to say Romelu Lukaku.
You said Loftus-Cheek?
No, I mean for me big player. Loftus-Cheek's me sort of... cheapo, me little cheapo one.
I'll tell you what, on that, before we sign off, I'd sign him. He's out of contract in the summer.
Who, Loftus-Cheek?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I've always been a fan. I've said on here a couple of times, him and the other lad, Chabala.
I like Chabala.
Yeah, I like them both.
Where's he now?
And let's face it, we don't have a bad record at signing supposed Chelsea rejects either.
Exactly.
So, if you're listening, Klopp, might be a nice little squad player for you.
I did a post on it a while ago about Loftus-Cheek and somebody else. It's not coming to my mind now, but there are options there for cheap who are good players. They're just not getting game time. I'd have him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would as well. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. Can we say something about Liverpool though? Because like the last thing, so we'll say that.
Go on.
We'll just wrap up on the Liverpool West Brom game. What score did you go for?
5-0.
5-0. I went 3-0.
I know. I'm always like glass massively half full, overflowing. I always am.
Nothing wrong with that.
I just feel after that result, not only is Mane going to be thinking, yeah, probably looking at that video, I should have squared it. He's going to want to score goals. The rest of them are going to as well. They're going to want to make up for that because you should have won that game. I think we'll absolutely annihilate them. I think 5-0.
Okay. Who's their manager now?
I think could be kind in the end.
It's Pardew, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't stand him either.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I used to like him, you know.
I'll tell you this though, he won't sit 11 men behind the ball, Pardew, from what I know about him.
Yeah, which is why they'll get battered.
He does try to play a bit of football. I'll give him that.
Yep. I used to like him, mate. I tipped him for the England job at one point.
We don't know. No one cares about England. I'm not talking about that. And on that bombshell, Chris.
Not English.
On that bombshell, I'll let you go, mate. It was a pleasure to have you on your first official co-host. I know you've done it before, but that's it. I know you're not getting away now, lad.
I know.
You're part of the team now. And I'll speak to you soon, mate.
And you, Sunshine. I'll
Take
speak
it
to you
easy,
soon.
buddy.
All right, bye now.
Ta-ra. Right, hope you all enjoyed this week's show. Wonderful to have Chris on board. Thank you very much. Chris is now very much part of the team at Over the Pool and Far Away. And I'd also like to thank Jamie Harrison for being the first person to email us at otpafa@gmail.com. Thanks for the good wishes, and hopefully we can get a few more people emailing us. Don't forget, tell your friends. We're on Facebook, Over the Pool and Far Away. And I suppose all that remains for me to say is, come on, Liverpool.